Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. No, I'm sorry, it's 9 o'clock. I'm looking at the finish time on my computer. I'm working hard, even though people probably think I'm hardly working, but I'm working hard. It's just fun. So today I'm gonna start updating a little bit on what's going on in Finland and what the media is publishing, and I asked my dad to write me a little bit about what he sees on the streets. And he's a true Finnish sarcastic soul. People have been advised to keep a social distance of 1 meter, but that doesn't work because all people still want to distance themselves at least 2 meters from one another. So far, no one has sat next to another person in the metro unless it's been absolutely necessary. And car drivers have already been preparing for a pandemic for years by driving to work alone. Finns are not really known for being the most social people on earth. Yeah, we like our personal space. So I've got my computer here because he writes a lot. Let's see what else he says. The curfew took place on the 12th of March. I think it's still just a recommendation. It's not like police is patrolling or arresting people. And in one day, everything was different. People on the streets of Turku, that's my hometown. Yes, mä oon Turusta, haistakaa paska. Respectfully avoids the elderly people through truly distancing themselves. And the youth is different, they gather, although they cannot gather anymore. Elderly are more accustomed to extreme circumstances because of the war. I'm talking what is commonly known in the world as World War II. Yeah, the elderly are more accustomed to extreme circumstances since some of them were born during the war or even before that, and some of them have known extreme limitations and true poverty. Young people seem to be completely lost, especially those people who suddenly can't go to work anymore. So buses are running. They are running empty, almost empty. Traffic was not reduced until a few days ago. Otherwise, the elderly live quite normal. They read books, go for walks, chat on Facebook, take it easy, watch and re-watch their 50th time of Hercule Poirot and Downton Abbey, and so on. And they make long telephone calls, of course. The post office is working, which is ironic because it was not working before the pandemic. At least half of all cafeterias and restaurants have closed. Grocery stores are still open, and they have a dedicated time slot for elderly people to go buy groceries, which is 6 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., which seems kind of inhumane. But keep in mind, they are elderly people. They get up early anyway. I guess they have some toilet paper hoarders. But mostly people stock up with canned food, pea soup and whatnot, which is stupid, but middle-aged people are. This is where it gets interesting. No one is wearing a mask, and keep in mind, I'm not telling you not to wear a mask. I'm just letting you know what's going on in Finland at the moment. Nobody is wearing a mask because Finns don't believe in the magic of the mask. Authorities also don't especially recommend masks. Nobody is discouraging anybody to not wear a mask. Of course, health departments, hospitals wear masks, obviously, of course, but otherwise people don't really particularly believe in that stuff. And yesterday, Finland was announced as the happiest country in the world. I bet you that's only because the post office started to actually work again. Normally I'd be smart enough to keep out of politics on a YouTube channel, but you know what? It's very difficult to do that during Corona. So our Prime Minister, Sanna Marin, which is a social democrat, she's giving a lot of interviews, of course, whenever she can, at the cost of sleep. She says, it is only after this pandemic that we can truly evaluate if Finland has acted correctly. The Minister of Finance, Katri Kulmuni, Minister of Education, Li Andersson, and our Prime Minister, Sanna Marin. These are amazing women. I'm so glad to have these guys around for this. Anything else would be pancake, as you say in Swedish. So, what we're writing about is the government has promised a 15 billion euro finance package for salvaging the Finnish economy during this corona pandemic. I believe Sweden is doing something along the lines of this as well. I haven't read about it yet, so I can't comment on it. But they're also offering a lot of money for this. So what does the package include? There's a lot of numbers and points, so I'll just go through some of them. One of them is lowering the cost for paying pensions for employers to employees. And there's a state-owned finance company that gets a lot more money for guaranteeing loans, collateral for guaranteeing loans to companies. The welfare system is reducing the threshold for giving out subsidies and help. And Finnair gets a pack of 600 million euros. 26 million euros go to health departments and for monitoring the virus. And police get 5.6 million euros for covering extra costs during this time at the moment. These numbers have increased drastically within like the past few days. So tomorrow it may even be more. You never know. I love the fact that our Prime Minister is giving out praise to the opposition, which is a bunch of I truly appreciate the actions of the opposition because it is extremely important that our nation shows solidarity and ability to work together. In this situation, we don't have a ruling party and an opposition party. We only have ministers who care about Finnish citizens as well as human beings. Look, if Berlusconi would have said something like this, I would have... The government has also received criticism. Some criticize the weak role of the president because the president doesn't really. It generally has a very small role and very little to say about internal affairs, especially. Finland has had to change some laws quickly and drastically because of the state of emergency, as so many other countries, of course. The last state of emergency we ever had was during World War II. And the criticism is largely based on undermining the government's work, which I don't really understand where that comes from. Maybe it's because the government is filled with young women and the president is an old man. The president is on the government side anyway. What? So apparently Finland has been pretty well prepared in comparison to other countries. I hate saying that because I don't know about other countries. I hate when people use that. Have you been to every other country in the world? No, so you can't commentate. All I can do is commentate on my prejudice on what I believe about other countries. But that's not necessarily the whole truth. Anyway, because hospitals generally keep a larger quantity of extra medicine and equipment in stock somehow. This probably dates to the time during World War II. It left a huge trauma in Finnish culture, and we still live that. I mean, it takes 7 generations minimum to get rid of the scars of war. So here are the most read articles of the day. First one, they change all the time. So the first one at the moment is about a Finnish person who lives very, very close from the the darkest point in Tuscany, Italy. His wife is a doctor, and with a special permit, she drives to work every day. Then we have the state of emergency and regular heroes of today. These are the Finnish heroes. 4 people doing critical work. They're asking them for updates, and I think this is good. I mean, we need to remember who is out there risking their health or their family for coronavirus. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's not the bankers and it's not the real estate agents. That's that. What more? Italy, news about Italy and how they have strengthened their limitations, and a big part of companies have had to close, and they now are up in 13,000, more than 13,000 death cases, which is a lot of people. This is the Finnish president, Sauli Niinistö, and this is the Prime Minister Sanna Marin. You can see the age difference. And this newspaper did some research of its own, picking up bacterial samples from public places in the city center of Helsinki. Places that people don't understand are true risk places. The gyms. This is interesting though, because in Sweden, as I understand it, gyms have closed. Moving on to Swedish news, Dagens Nyheter. I will go through this quickly. The first thing that comes up is the difficult situation of the homeless people during Corona. I thought the homeless people had a difficult situation even before Corona, and probably after as well, but apparently I'm wrong. Hospitals are getting money, extreme packages, help packages and subsidies for to increase the amount of staff on the most acute departments of the hospitals. The first dead person in Colombia. Oh, this is so cute. A 96-year-old woman had a whole class of kids singing happy birthday under her balcony because nobody should be alone. The coronavirus is spreading in Africa, and this is like a branch of Protestants, I guess, Protestant Christians who in Brazil, and they call it the virus is Satan's tactics to spread fear. This I wonder why this is not on top news. They say 3 days in Wuhan without any new infections. This is great news. This should be on the front page. But I'm really glad that Sweden actually does acknowledge this. This is positive news, and we need positive news. What else? Fudge off. And how should I handle my not so nice stepmother? I'm not really sure why this is on like front page, but yeah. And here we go also. This is how they increase their sales on makeup. I also don't know why this is on front news. And this is how our genes can help us when we are looking for a lover. These are really... I think I'm gonna go back to Finnish news now. They ask our Prime Minister, they ask, what kind of a country is Finland going to be in 3 years? And she answers, in 3 years, Finland will be a Nordic welfare country. I myself believe that we will survive this. I hope this will unify people.